Alright, so welcome back, everybody. Apologize for the delay on this next episode. I hope you enjoy this video that I'm finally able to put up and shoot with my real camera and not have to rely on something stupid like photo booth for the Mac. Don't ever use that. I'm still so annoyed that the video that I made for the last one didn't actually turn into anything that I could post on YouTube. So, haven't let that one go. Apple, figure it out. Because I'm sick and tired of losing things due to your incompetence. It's been a while since we checked in on my Chicago Cubs. This is Wild Bill on the still unnamed Wild Bill podcast. It's been a rough week and a half. I think it's been 11 days since my last check-in with this team. This team that just can't figure out whether they want to be good or not. So, I went through 3.5 series since we last checked in. We had the Padres, the Pirates, the Braves, and we're 2 games into this series with the Pittsburgh Pirates here at home at Wrigley Field. I should say they're at home because I am very much not in Chicago. I am in sunny Southern California in Los Angeles. I don't regret the move out here, but I do miss going to my games of the teams that I enjoy rooting for. They come out here pretty often, though. I was just overhearing a discussion about how expensive these Dodger tickets are, though, and I probably won't be able to see the Cubs when they come out here, which makes me kind of sad, Wish that I'd be able to come to, sit at the front row. Maybe if this podcast takes off, go and let me know. Let me know if you want to throw me some tickets so I can go see my Cubs. But not a whole lot to really cheer about for my Chicago Cubs here. Dropped a series against the Padres. First home series that we didn't win this season. 1-2. So I'm pretty glad that we don't have to play the San Diego Padres anymore for the rest of the season. I don't know what it is. They kind of just have our number. Annoying. So I won't have to worry about them again. We can just call that a wash, just the way that I see it. They probably won't make the playoffs since the Cubs are ahead of them in the wild card. I anticipate it'll be an NL Central and an NL East team that'll make it to the playoffs. The Dodgers have that division on lockdown. They've been red hot recently. Then we headed over to Pittsburgh. Won that series 2-1. I believe what was the one game? I don't know, but we did see that. Actually, I remember exactly what it was. Yeah, that's right. The Pittsburgh Pirates gave the Chicago Cubs 6 free runs. 6 free runs. They walked in 6 runs. 4 of them before a 2.5-hour rain delay, 2 after. And they still somehow managed to lose that game. I can't tell you how upset that made me. They spotted you 6 runs, and you still lost. I believe it was 10-9. 11-9, whatever it was. Absurd. Ridiculous. It really got me hot. Not happy about it. Saw Paul Skeens have his debut as well. He owns us, as we saw in the game from today, and we'll touch on that in just a second. Then we went down to Atlanta, which I think there's some statistic where the Cubs are 2-14 or 2-13 in the last 15 games heading into this series. So I kind of anticipated this is kind of like the measuring stick of one of the best teams in the NL, if not the best. I'm pretty okay with taking only one of the 3 games. It is pretty disheartening to see that the Cubs really were only able to jump on a 40-whatever-year-old Charlie Morton. And the jump they did, we had a pretty good performance out of PCA. Had that nice bunt pushing past the pitcher to drive in a run. I think he stole a base. He's looking pretty good. I think after a little bit more development, he'll be one of my favorite players. Still something to get used to. He's a little shorter than I thought he would be. But I think once he finds his footing into the lineup and, kind of establishes himself a little more, he'll become a fan favorite for sure. And then 2 games into this series, we've dropped 2 games. The first 2, Justin Steele losing yesterday, and Kyle Hendricks going back into what we think Kyle Hendricks is, giving up 7 earned runs, 8 total, in his 4 2/3, I think it was. It's a shame because Javier Assad and Shota Imanaga, or Shota number one, Javier I think it's like third or fourth in ERA in the National League. So they're showing up to play and showing up to pitch every single day that they do pitch, and they're obviously the leaders. They can't be out there every single game, which sucks. If they could, I think we'd go 162-0. But the fact that we can't have pitchers beyond that hold the other team to at least few runs. At least few runs. At least not that many to where, we could maybe win a game with 2 or 3 runs. Just incompetent pitching coming out of the bullpen. There's somebody else stepping up and being able to hold the, give a quality start. A quality start would be nice. I'm begging the rest of the pitching staff for a quality start. Nobody wants to pitch. Nobody wants to hit. Nobody wants to drive in a run. Nobody wants to give run support. I think Shota Imanaga threw a really good game the other day and didn't get any sort of run support. Like, what is he supposed to do? He can't hit for everybody. He's not Shohei Ohtani. Which, if that's what we needed, I don't understand why the Cubs didn't go out and get him. Just another team that likes to cry poor, which is, I think you can get away in a small market, but this is the Chicago Cubs. No, whatever. I'm not smart enough to really talk about the financials and everything going on with the Cubs, but I think you can tell I'm not super happy about how the past week and a half has been. The Cubs are kind of slipping into who I guess we all thought they were. Somewhere in the middle of the pack, somewhere around 500. Yeah, Paul Skeens is going to own the Cubs for a while. I think he's going to be the next boogeyman for Chicago sports fans, at least the Cub fans. Can't speak for the fools from the South Side. Hendricks is staying at a cool 10 ERA on the season. I don't know, man. I think we're super lucky that we're in a not so great division, because Milwaukee, amongst all this turmoil and all this subpar play that I think the Cubs are falling into, that I think they could be better than, they're only 2.5 games behind. So that's lucky for us. This team needs to compete better. This team needs to compete better for my sake, for my life, for my livelihood. My mental health completely hinges on the Chicago Cubs. And I am not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to admit what everybody else can see. The Braves are coming into town next week starting on Tuesday, and I know they're going to whip us again. I'd love to be proven wrong by that. Obviously, we still have 2 more games with Pittsburgh for this weekend. Another thing that I noticed. It used to be such a lock for the Cubs to win on a Friday afternoon at Wrigley. I think we need to bring those Wrigleyville City Connect jerseys back. I think that's kind of what powered everything. That when David Ross was here the last couple seasons, I think that's what kind of contributed to the whole vibe. Like, the neighborhood comes out, people are playing hooky from work, ditching school, which happens, I guess, pretty rampantly, just like the movies. And it was just a whole vibe. It's like teams didn't want to play the Cubs at 120 on 1060 West Addison Street in Chicago. That was a whole thing. Like, I don't know what happened to that. I miss that. I miss those vibes of the last couple seasons. I don't think this team has it. I don't know what it is. I think it's a step in the right direction. We'll be bringing those jerseys back for our Friday games. But I don't know anything. Just glad that we got a couple cupcakes coming up after the Braves. Got St. Louis, got Milwaukee, and Cincinnati. All our divisional rivals. That'll help for sure. Establish ourselves a little deeper into this division. Show everybody who's boss. Hoping this is one of the few tough stretches in the season. Obviously, it's super long. Can't really put every single opinion of the last week and a half to stretch out over the season. It'll change back. We'll regress back to the mean wherever direction it is, and we'll know exactly who they are. Maybe in about a month or so. I'm starting to reach towards the panic button, though, because this lineup isn't isn't giving me a whole lot of faith for success in October. Like I said, 2.5 games behind first. We'll probably still be there. We're probably okay. But, yeah. Not happy about it. White Sox are not the worst team in the league anymore. So that's something to be happy about. I think they're edging out the Miami Marlins by about a game and a half maybe. So, something to be happy about. NL East is obviously the division to beat. I think I touched on that earlier. Dodgers are absolutely dominating, as everybody anticipated. They got that big payroll. They better. Ohtani is heating up. He's been hitting home runs in bunches. And the Yankees are, once again, tale as old as time, looking like they're going to dominate. The American League, I think finally we'll see the Yankees back in the playoffs. And not just the playoffs, but the World Series. And so that is what I got going on for baseball. So, other sporting news, we had the NFL schedule releasing. Had all those videos, which are cool. I don't mind them. I think it's, a spot for some creative teams that otherwise wouldn't really be able to express themselves throughout the season to show what they're capable of. Something that they can throw onto a demo reel if they're looking to expand beyond whatever it is they're doing. So, that's cool to see. Obviously, the gold standard is the Chargers. They put out a video of the Sims. I'm pulling up the Bears schedule because I want to react to it. Yeah, it was really funny to see that. Other good ones. I don't think I even saw any of the other ones. I thought it was really funny how the Green Bay Packers got Big Cat to come on there and say exactly what the rest of us are thinking. That's exactly what I would say, word for word, bar for bar. As far as the Chicago Bears schedule release video, I thought it was cool. Touches on the 1980s John Hughes classics that he would make out in Chicago suburbs. Like the Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller. Kind of had that whole vibe to it. Put all the divisional rivals in detention, which I thought was funny. Thought it was pretty funny how they got Annie Agar to be in the video. They got that girl that does all the graphic design stuff on TikTok, which is pretty funny. I don't know who the Vikings or who the Detroit Lions or whoever that other person was in the room. Not sure who that was, but I didn't really love how all the games were kind of out of order. They were kind of just like fitting a narrative around whatever video they wanted to make. I don't know. I feel like we already knew the schedule for a while, so not a whole lot of surprises. But I got the Bears schedule pulled up here on my screen, right behind the camera. So let's go through and see what I think is going to happen. So, week 1, we got the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans have a rookie head coach. I believe Derrick Henry's no longer with the Tennessee Titans. Moved on to Baltimore, so take that as a win. Caleb Williams coming out hot. I'm anticipating 4 touchdowns against the cooked Tennessee defense. Then week 2, we're heading down to Houston, and that'll be a Sunday night game against C.J. Stroud, the rookie phenom of the year before. I am not sure that we'll win that one. I know the Houston Texans are a tough team, so put that at 1-1 going into week 3. Week 3, our opponent will be the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson should be fully healthy and back. I think that'll be a tough game. You know what? I'm going to chalk that as a win. I think we're going to beat them. Play the LA Rams at home for week 4. That's a noon o'clock game. That's early for them, so call that a win. When we play Carolina at home, that's a win. Play Jacksonville, also at home. Count that as a win. So we're 5-1 going into the bye week. At Washington, win. At Arizona, win. New England at home, win. Green Bay at home, easy win. I think we're going to run up the score in that game. Then we play Minnesota at home. That's a win, so we're 10-1. A lot of wishful thinking. Then we go to Detroit on Thanksgiving. Going to give us the win on that one. They got absolutely destroyed last year versus Green Bay. That really ruined everybody's Thanksgiving. And I think if the Bears do it, it'll make everybody happy on Thanksgiving. So we'll give America what they want on that particular holiday. Then we're at San Francisco. I am not sure we'll be able to compete there, so that's our second loss of the season. I might check and see if I can make it to that game. That would be a super cool trip to take up there. Tickets are only $133, so that's not bad. It'll be a 125 game. Early December in San Francisco. Should be cool. Shouldn't be too hot. I know the major complaint of that stadium is not a whole lot of shade. Don't think we'll need it. Then we're going to see the Bears go to Minnesota on Monday night. Call that one a win. We'll play Detroit at home. I think they might get us that one. So, third loss of the season right there. Versus Seattle. That's a win. And then we finish the season at Green Bay. I anticipate the Green Bay Packers will not be playing for much. Much like they shouldn't be playing for anything the entire season. Because they suck. And you know what? We'll call that a win. So we got 14-7. I think we can do it. I don't really know. That's just me being hopeful as a fan. Obviously, I would take that with a grain of salt. I do obviously wish for nothing but the absolute worst for Green Bay. I think Caleb Williams will have his struggles, much like anybody else, but if anybody would be super well equipped to come into the league, it would be Caleb Williams, obviously for the prospect of him being who he is and who he was and who we all think he will be. Bringing that Heisman kind of pedigree. He's been in the spotlight for a long time. He's had all this, NIL kind of attention. It's the first, people are saying the first Gen Z quarterback to come into the league, the first superstar in that generation. And I think, I can't remember who I was listening to on the Rich Eisen show earlier today. I think we got to look deeper beyond, whatever the painted nails, which I don't really care about. He can do whatever he wants as long as he wins. And I think he's going to be a good leader for the Bears. So I'm excited for it. Excited knowing that we know when they're going to play and where they're going to play. I forgot to mention that Jacksonville game is in London. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars' second home. Oh, man, 6:30 a.m. It's going to be tough for me that day, but I think that's the Sunday after my birthday, too. October 13th. My birthday will be October 11th. If anybody wants to send me a gift, go ahead and let me know. I'll give you my Venmo. Oh, that's tough. Tickets are $470 out there. That's crazy. I did not know tickets went for that, for the London games. But I'm excited for the season. Excited to see how training camp all goes through. I'm happy for happy football's a thing. Thank you, football. So that is my reaction to all the releases of the schedule. Other things going on in the sporting world. The Denver Nuggets and the Wolves are all knotted up. They've decided nothing after 6 games. They're going to 7 this Sunday night. I think it's interesting how in the playoffs they'll give them 2 or 3 days of rest. I want that game now. I don't know why we can't have it now. But obviously you want to have both teams as fresh as possible, being able to give you their best game. I don't know why not Saturday night either. But excited to see that. I do think Denver will edge them out. I think experience will take over in this high leverage situation. Joker, obviously, unlike any big man we've ever seen, with facilitating and being able to shoot. So that's what I anticipate will happen. The Knicks have the chance to clinch another series today against Indiana. So I think they'll do it. Any team that has Tom Thibodeau as the coach, I know it's going to be a hard-playing team. Obviously, with his time with the Bulls, ran some players possibly too hard, but easy to root for that guy. I know Jalen Brunson's a super easy guy to root for too, even if it is the New York Knicks, which nobody really cares for. Go ahead and roast me in the comments if you want. So I think the Knicks advance. We'll see how they do against the Celtics. Then the big news in the golfing world today: Scottie Scheffler. We had Scottie Scheffler getting arrested for beating up a cop on his way to Valhalla for the PGA, the PGA event that they got over there in Louisville. I was just reading about it right before I didn't record on all this. There was, I'll break it down for those of you who have not looked into it very much. There was a traffic cop kind of directing traffic around what was a unfortunate fatal accident. Previous to Scottie showing up to the event for his round. So he was telling people to go a certain way on the major intersection. Scottie was trying to go around it, because I guess he may have been running late. I don't know what the case was. Just trying to warm up before his round. There was allegedly some sort of misunderstanding, and that's kind of what they were upset that he wasn't following whatever they were saying. And so they had him stop, get out of the car, put cuffs on him, and took him in. They're calling it felony assault on an officer, mischief, whatever it is. There's like 4 charges on there. I think it's just like a funny kind of thing that happened. I think there was something I was reading on here. Let me pull it up. It's just funny knowing that he just became a dad. He's about to be 28. Young guy. He wasn't drunk or anything. I think the lawyer put out a statement that he wasn't trying to do anything to the cops. He was misunderstanding what they were telling him to do, and he wasn't trying to really cause a scene or anything. It's kind of just funny. There was obviously the mugshot that came out earlier this morning. He was talking about how he stretched in the jail cell, and when he was teeing off, there was a crowd cheering for him, which I think is super funny. It's reminiscent of when Josh Hader had the racist allegations for the things that he tweeted when he was younger, back when he was playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, and when he came out for the next appearance in a game, the crowd gave him a standing ovation, which I still think is so telling of the Wisconsin Sporting fans, to be cheering a racist. Call me what you want, but I'm not lying about that. You guys are weird. Obviously, this one's a little funnier. Not nearly as much seriousness. The report I did read was that the police officer did go to the hospital with like super minor injuries, and their work pants, which was valued at $80, were broken beyond repair, which is an absolutely absurd thing to have on a report. So that's what's going on. I don't think anything will come of it. Just thought it was a funny thing. And that's what I got to say about sports. Glad I could finish off on a funnier tone than what the Cubs have going on. Other things going on in my life. Started playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Highly recommend to anybody that's into video games. Played for about 4 hours yesterday after coming back from happy hour with my girlfriend. Yeah, give it a try. Give it a try if you haven't played it. That's my 2 cents on video games, so I think I'll cut it off right here. Got a few other chores that I want to tackle on this Friday night. So, hoping the Cubs figure it out. Because like I said, my entire mental health completely dependent on you guys. So, until next time, this is Wild Bill, and it's over.